Well, this year, I did not expect to be doing this. But as our family's growing, and our kids are getting married, and we're having grandkids. That's right, I'm a grandpa. Well, we decided if everybody wants to live on Peak's Peak and be a part of the land that we have here to share, we need more living space. And somebody is gonna have to live up on the hill. And so me and my wife and Caden decided we would make the sacrifice and we'd build us a new house on top of Peak's Peak. And that is going to change everything, because not only are we going to get to experience having a brand new house, and I'm going to get to experience building it, but my daughter and her husband and my new grandson when he's born will get to move into our old house. And the whole family will be here to share on our 38 acres. And that is a huge blessing that we are really excited about. Now, in order to be able to afford to do this, I've got to do the work myself. And we can't go to the bank and take out another mortgage when we already have one on the house that we're living in. So I got to pay for it as I go. So we are starting out with a 16 by 52 tiny house that we can build and buy the supplies as we go, so that when it's finished, we'll be able to move into a house that we owe nothing on. And that is also a huge blessing. But then our overall plan has us adding on a garage and more living space after we get moved in and we're able to work out selling our house to my daughter and my son-in-law, and we'll have everything we ever wanted, they'll have everything they ever wanted, and we'll all be here together on Peak's Peak. And this is just a dream come true, and we are happy to take you guys along with us. Today, we've got walls to build, and Caden and I are up here, and we're going to frame the back wall. And so in this video, I hope to share with you the final build of the last 3 walls that need to go up before we're ready to put on rafters. So hey there, hobby homesteaders, and welcome back to Peak's Peak. My name's Lucas.
And I'm Caden.
And here's Maple, and we're up here getting ready to get started on framing that back wall. And it's still really hot. So we just come up here and we work a few hours.
Is it never hot?
We started this build at the hottest time of the year, for sure. Mm-hmm. So we just come up here and we work a few hours and get done what we can get done without killing ourselves. And we're making progress. It's actually going quicker than I expected it to. So that's good. I'm gonna start laying out this wall and we'll share with you bits and pieces along the way. So come along. And also, if you are not a subscriber yet, please consider subscribing and following this whole process, because as we build this house, we're gonna share all of that with you. But once we finish building the house, then we're gonna build a garage, we're gonna build a barn, we're gonna build fences, we're gonna get animals, and it's just gonna be great. Lord willing. can find some raindrops around Kentucky, I'll tell you that. But I do not complain, because when it's sun beating down and 95 degrees, doing this work is miserable. But I love the work. I love it. I'm having so much fun now that the clouds have covered up the sun and it's cooled off a little bit. We got 52 foot of wall framed up in a couple of hours. Now, I'm not.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, Caden laid out all my pre-cuts, got everything ready for me. Did a fantastic job helping out. I've got to like frame in the bottom half of the windows down through here. We just did the quick and easy stuff, you know, laid in all the studs, cut the cripples for underneath the headers and all that. But I got my last header cut to go in here for the sliding door on the back, and I'll probably go ahead, since it's nice and cool and feels good now, I'll probably go ahead and put in the bottom halves of these windows and get them framed in.
No, is because I haven't eaten all day.
Well, it ain't gonna hurt you. He ain't starving.
I've ate pancakes.
You ain't starving, that's right. You know who hasn't eaten all day?
This kid says
Actually,
this every day.
I do say that every day, but it's a lie today because I went to Arby's. I had me a gyro, and I put another one in the fridge for tomorrow for lunch.
Yes, I'm getting it now.
No, it's in the fridge at work. You can't get it. All right, guys, I'm gonna get this header put in, and then we'll frame in those bottom walls, and we'll have this all ready to stand up. And I have 3 separate sections, so we're gonna stand these up by hand. Should be easy money tomorrow. We'll get these walls stood up, and then I get to learn how to frame a rake wall. And I've got a plan for that. So be sure and come back for that, because, you know, they make construction calculators and you calculate all the different lengths and angles and all that good stuff. We don't need none of that. I've got an idea, and it's gonna work. So that will be later on in the video. I had to move my pallet steps over here next to the doorway. So I gotta go through the wall now, and it won't be long, we'll be putting sheathing on. So this is the 3rd time our Advantech floor's gotten rained on. But look at this. We got a whole back wall in one night. Laid the whole thing out and framed it in one evening. Caden was a big help on that, and it went good. So tomorrow night, we get to come up here and stand it up, put some braces on it. Man, this is gonna start looking like a house real soon. All right, well, guys, see you in a minute. Another day, another gallon of sweat, and more progress to be had on the house. So I have to fill in above my headers, and then we're ready to stand this wall up. Now, share with you my framing faux pas, or my framing mistake, because I didn't realize if I made 2x10 headers, and I was just making 2x10 headers because I had scrap 2x10s around here, but I made 2x10 headers and put them at 82.5 inches high, and that leaves me an inch gap between the header and the top. Well, you can't make cripple studs an inch long. They'll just blow apart when you shoot a nail through them. What I should have done is put them all the way up against the top plate, and I would have just had a little more space around my windows or doors, which is easy to fill in with OSB or whatever. But I didn't do that. So now I'm gonna have to rip some OSB strips to fill this in to make it tight. And I can stack 2 half-inch pieces and fill this gap, and it'll be tight. And it will work. I would have rather had solid lumber in there, but I mean, the OSB is gonna be solid structure for it to sit on. So it'll be fine to transfer the load. It's just not what I would have preferred. I also could have went 82-inch height and probably still fit my doors in, and then I could have put another 1.5 inch piece in there, and that would have worked. There's lots of ways I could have done this that would have been better than what I've ended up with here. But I got to this point, here my headers are. I'd already cut my cripples and set the headers on those when I realized, uh-oh, you know, I go to put my top plate on and I only had an inch gap. So let's get those cut and put in place, and then we are going to stand this wall up tonight so that tomorrow we can build our rake walls. And our house has 4 walls, and we are on our way. What you got?
Turtle is testing.
Oh man, that's a nice looking turtle. Yeah, you love gathering up animals, don't you? All right, take good care of him. Keep him happy.
No.
We need to We was just kidding, we weren't ready yet. Ready? Go. Dude, you are tougher than nails. Seriously, man. You're a beast. Run it right up against. All right, that's half of the back wall up. Boy, your buddy's getting wild, isn't he? That dude's been around. Yeah. And that's a wrap for this evening because Caden has been begging me to fish. And we actually took one break and went and fished a little bit already when we got to the halfway point. But tomorrow's his birthday, you know, I'm trying to kind of keep that in mind, not overdo it, still have a good time and enjoy this. Man, that's a good looking wall right there. We made good progress. We got the whole back wall stood up and braced and plumbed up. It's all looking good. Even though tomorrow's his birthday, he agreed that if I would take him to the lake to fish tomorrow, then he would get up at daylight with me and come up here and we would at least try to get one of the walls framed up in the morning for the end walls, the rake wall. And if we can do that, then we'll make my deadline, which is to have the 4 walls up before we take off on a little vacation. We're going to a church meeting out near Oklahoma City, and we'll be gone for a few days. So I've got Saturday and Monday to get these 2 end walls up, and we meet my goal. These 2 end walls are pretty simple walls other than cutting the angles, and you know, it's a rake wall, so it's a little bit more complicated, but it's not that big of a wall. It won't be that long, and so I think we can knock that out easy in that amount of time. So if we can get one framed up in the morning, then we'll go fish at the lake, and I may even come up tomorrow evening and frame up the other one or finish it up on Monday. If we get done on Saturday, we get to fish on Monday too. So hey, there's that. If you enjoy fishing, check out Peak Outdoors, and that's where me and Caden hang out and do our outdoor stuff. Hang in there. It'll be just a second for you. It'll be overnight for me, and we'll see you in the morning. Today is a big day because it's Caden's birthday. Yeah! Caden turns 11 today, and he still got up at 6 a.m. to come up here and work on the house with me. And that's because I want to get one wall laid out, and then we've got big plans. If you want to check out the video, it'll be over on Peak Outdoors, but Caden is going to the outdoor shop to pick out a new rod and reel for his birthday. And then we're going to Grayson Lake in Kentucky to do a little fishing challenge. That's gonna be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that. We just wanted to get a little bit of work done before we get started. So I'm gonna get to that so we can get this knocked out. That way we can go have some fun. Get your boots laced up, and that way you can do your job.
Maybe 60 ain't so far down.
Oh, I think it is. bro? You ready for the birthday fishing challenge?
Yeah!
We got the wall done. That was the deal. All right, let's pack up the tools.
Woohoo! Sorry.
All right, first rake wall is complete, and it only took 2 hours. So, and we figured out a system. I had a couple of trial and error methods. Yeah, I had a couple of trial and error methods where I kind of messed some things up and had to rework it a little bit, but we've got our 16-inch centers, we've got our window, we're good to go. I missed a couple nails, but yeah, we'll patch that up as we go.
We're all good.
Yeah, it's all good. All right, guys, so we will finish this on Monday, show you the final wall, and then we'll have our 4 walls up. We'll be ready for a roof.
Yeah.
Man, this is awesome. Well, good morning, and we are back on the job. Today we have one more wall to get up before we head out of town, and it shouldn't be too hard. The last rake wall only took us a couple of hours to frame up, so I don't think this will be too bad. Now, I was kind of gonna give a quick little walkthrough and show you just a few things that I'm gonna have to clean up and button up when I get finished before I start putting on my rafters. So we got the front wall framed up, and one mistake that I made when I was framing up the front wall was kind of learning the angle of my framing nailer with it laid down on a floor. I shot several nails through the back side. We had to actually go through and kind of pry it loose from the floor in a couple of places. So I've got some nails loose and hanging out here and there that I'm gonna have to go through and cut off and then re-nail those spots to make sure they're solid. The other thing was I tried to put my nailers together with them on the floor, and in places it was hard for me to get the nail gun in and nail them. So this is one that I missed. You can see there's my nail. So this is not adequate. I'm gonna have to go back and fix those nailers. I share my mistakes. It just is what it is. You know, this is a learning process for me. I've done bits and pieces of this, but I'm not gonna be perfect. So those are things I've got to fix. But what that did was teach me that I can put my nailers together and my blocking together before I put them in the wall. And that way I get them nailed right. So the back wall, I didn't have, really, I don't know that I had maybe 1 or 2 nails go through the bottom side that I'll have to patch up, but otherwise good. This wall went together great. I've got some top plates that I have to finish up. Like you can see the ends here. I don't have my top plates on the ends of those walls. So those are some things that I'll be doing just to kind of clean up and finish up the exterior framing. And then we'll be ready for rafters when we return from our vacation. That's exciting stuff. I also have some really cool things to do inside of the house, and some of them I may go ahead and do just to kind of get us going. Like for instance, this is gonna be the living room and dining room area. So everything from this wall right here will be living room and dining room in the house, kind of a combined living space. And you can see I've got blocking in here for a wall to go across. Well, it's gonna be the wall to the main bathroom, and then up here towards the front of the house, you'll have a hallway that leads down to the bathroom and the 2 bedrooms. Well, the beginning part of the hallway, I actually wanna have a beam running across the top of this wall right here, and this first section of hallway, the ceiling will be open until you get to Caden's room, and then the wall will go all the way to the ceiling because he's going to have a loft area in his bedroom. So his bedroom will be right here, and closet in the front, and he'll have a ladder that goes up, and then a loft space up in the top where he'll be able to kind of hang out and look out the window and all of that. And that loft space will be the area above the hallway as you walk down the hallway before you get to our bedroom. So I'll probably put in like my beam going across here and tie these 2 walls together and that sort of thing. It'll also be, I'll be able to make some extra support for the roof and tie that beam in with the rafter structure. lots to think about when doing this, especially, you know, not using architectural drawings and all of that, trying to plan ahead and make things right. This is a lot of fun though. All right, so I'm gonna start laying out this rake wall. All right, round two, fight! People sometimes comment on how patient I am with Caden while we work, and that's not always the case. Things get a little rowdy sometimes, don't they, bro?
Yeah.
When I'm under the gun, I'll yell at him, get out of my way. But he does a good job, he takes it well, and he understands. It's like, I'm not mad at him, it's just urgency. Right? Mm-hmm. All right, bro. Go get me a water bottle to pour in this. Guys, we have 4 walls. This has been a good time. How's it feel, man?
Good.
It does, don't it? Yeah, this is gonna be our house, and we're gonna be able to stand back and say, I built that. And I think it's gonna be something we can be proud of.
I'm already proud of it.
Me too. I'm proud of you. You've been working hard. Doing a good job. Well, guys, listen, I hope you enjoyed getting to see us get the 4 walls up on the house build. Next time we are going to be putting up rafters, and I have some things I have to learn about that to get prepared for it. I also have a few things I've got to button up, because if you'll notice across the top, I still have my bracing that I use to lift up the walls. That needs to come off of there. I have top plates that I have to finish up. And then even some of my bracing and stuff is kind of extended out in the way where we're going to be working. So I'll probably take care of that, cutting those off or whatever. But I may think about doing some groundwork here and getting this leveled out and good and flat so that I'll be able to stand up my scaffolding full height and maybe attach it to the walls or whatever so that I can get up there and work safely. The back wall is not too tall. I can work off of a ladder on the back wall and then put this scaffolding up. We got a railing for it and everything, so I think this is gonna work out really good. We're getting ready to take off on vacation. We're going to a church meeting down in Oklahoma. So while we are traveling, I will also kind of be brainstorming about what the next steps are and how I'm going to accomplish them. But right now we're packing up tools because we're going fishing. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, getting to see us get the walls up on the house. Until next time, get outside and enjoy God's creation, because
it's beautiful out here.
Y'all have a good day.